No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. This is one of the most requested podcasts of all time in our short history. The motherfucking Night Lovell podcast. How you doing, bro?
Let's fucking get it.
Let's get it. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Happy to be here.
Just out here in LA. How long are you here for?
We leave tomorrow. Yeah, to go to Michigan.
And you were out here to do what, like 2 shows?
I had a show in Santa Ana.
Right.
Yesterday. No. 2 days ago, I had a show in Santa Ana, and yesterday was LA.
Right. So how were they?
Santa Ana was fucking lit. LA was lit. I did not know that many kids would come out to Santa Ana.
You still are kind of in that state where you like don't believe that you're popular yet.
Exactly. But yeah, it was crazy. Like it was crazy.
Do you? But you play at home a lot?
Yeah, I mean, like, I try not to do it too much because then you like kind of get played out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I try to space
balance.
them out like a good, I don't know, months type of shit. But yeah.
And I understand that you were taking in Fairfax today for the first time and that you were very excited about it.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool out there. I bought these Supreme pants.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How much you spend on those?
Like,
can you stand up so I can see them?
128.
Oh, that doesn't really sound that expensive compared to a lot of shit. Those look sick.
If they were over like $200, I wouldn't have bought them. So.
Right. Well, that's good. At least you're not like losing your mind yet.
Exactly.
You know, so the reason why I have been listening to you for like over a year is because my roommate is this pro BMX rider named Brandon Began, and he was always listening to you for like fucking ever since that first tape came out.
Yeah.
So he always just had me fucking clued in, but I never actually watched your interviews or had any idea what you would be like as a person until
that's because I had
last
none.
night.
I maybe had like one interview maybe that's somewhere on the internet, but I really did not do interviews.
Yeah. Well, you did one in Moscow, which I thought was kind of funny.
That's like one of the only. I'm pretty sure that's the only one I have up.
Really?
If I'm not mistaken.
There's one other one too.
I don't even know.
How the fuck did you end up in Moscow, by the way?
I don't know. They just fuck with the music out there, bro.
They love
it's
the dark
sick.
shit.
It's sick.
Yeah.
I almost sold out like a 500, 600 cap venue. It was fucked,
really?
Bro. Yeah.
Yo, yeah, because it's bad. Like all the fucking Russian kids are bugging me about like Bones, Xavier,
they just,
you.
I feel like what
always.
it is with them, they just like, they just genuinely love music.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So they're just like good fans. Like
right.
they fuck with whoever comes from America.
I think it's the fact that like a lot of the beats that you and some of the guys who sort of are in your category rap over sort of like express what it's like to be a Russian.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a bleak place. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
It's not like an optimistic place. Like not many people there are like thinking about the fucking great things that are to come.
Yeah, it's a very different place.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So let's talk about Ottawa.
Yeah.
Tell me about this. So I've been around Canada a bunch, but I never really spent much time out there.
No one knows about Ottawa. Like where'd you go when you came?
I've been to like, see, I grew up in like the Boston area, so going to Montreal all the time, and I've been to Toronto a bunch of times.
Yeah, Ottawa's like we neighbor Toronto, we neighbor Montreal. Montreal's like 2 hours away. Toronto's like 4.
Right. Nicole was just telling me it's what, like a 2 hour drive.
Yeah. So like it's the capital of Canada. I mean, like no one really knows about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like a government type of city, like you know what I mean.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, no one. my whole mission is to kind of make Ottawa into something it like no one ever really wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Because like the thing about Ottawa is back in the like few years ago, artists that are born in Ottawa, I guess they felt that they don't have enough things to make them kind of have like a chance in the music industry. So what they do is they like move to Toronto or even some of them move to the States to go to New York.
But even Toronto being relevant is so new.
Exactly.
You know?
But like even like so with the internet now, like you really don't have to do that type of shit.
Right.
So my whole thing is like the kids in the city, they just want someone to look up to. I want to be like the only one that stays in Ottawa and kind of puts Ottawa on, because if no one does that, then the city just stays in the same place like forever. And that's what everyone's been doing.
So what do you love about Ottawa so much that makes you want to be that dude who's putting on for it?
I don't know. It's just like, it's where I'm from for one. And like the kids just love, like they show love all the time.
So you felt you've always been getting love out there. A lot of times people act like they don't really get love until they start to blow up.
I mean, yeah, there's love, but like, I guess obviously like as much love there is, hate comes with it,
right,
and shit like that. But yeah, there's a lot of love. Like, there's a lot of love for me in Ottawa. It's crazy.
Do you feel like you were getting recognition there before you started blowing up online? Because you just took over like a fucking tidal wave doing numbers online.
No,
right.
Not at all. Like when I dropped the first, when I dropped Concept Vague,
right,
I dropped that. And people in Ottawa, like a few people knew me, like maybe like a 1-2 person in my high school or something.
Okay.
But like I only started getting recognition in Ottawa like a year after that came out, which makes no sense.
And what was it related to?
I have no idea.
Really?
Like, yeah. It just started happening.
So you put this project online. Let's actually go a little bit back before that. Like, how did that project come about? Like, when did you start rapping, and what was the idea?
So,
and
like,
by the way, shout out to Mr. Pizza, because that's where you just went.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Pizza. But so I started making beats in 2013 on my laptop. So I started making beats. I put those out. That's when I started making friends with all the people I kind of know today.
So it was KLNV was the name?
Yeah, that was a lot of people want to know about that shit. So
right,
my producing name was KLNV. So I started making beats. I'd put the beats out, and then I'd send beats to like Chris Travis and stuff like that. He still uses some of my beats.
What was the one song that was a big hit though?
Memphis to LA, I think.
Right,
yeah,
okay,
that one.
yeah.
That's one what really like made people start to hear me and stuff.
And so you were what, just like a fan of Chris Travis? So you just started sending it. And, and how do you get on his radar?
I don't know. No. The funny thing is, I did not send him that beat. He just took it off SoundCloud.
Really?
And then he followed me. But I was already following him. But I never sent him a beat. He just took that off SoundCloud, used it, and ever since then, he just told me to send him more beats and stuff.
But so you were just like a fan of that whole like scene. Who else were you listening to at that time?
Him, like Bones, Xavier, everyone pretty much. Like I was listening to everyone in that scene.
But so was that like a certain point where you got into that? Were you like listening to radio rap before that, or what? I
mean, like but I was more into like the underground stuff.
But how'd you like get turned on to that? Like what kind of music were you listening to when you were really young?
I have no idea. Like when I start, I think it like has to do with when I was producing. The friends like I made kind of like brought me into that type of.
But how'd you get into like producing those kind of beats? Like what like do you remember when you got turned on to it? Or were you just like an internet kid that this stuff just made perfect sense to you? Like
I just started making those types of beats.
Where were you hanging out online when you were young though?
I just played video games. Like that's all I did when I was young. Like,
what'd you play?
Call of Duty.
Nice.
I played every Call of Duty, like COD 4, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2. Like I had everything. I was more Call of Duty kid.
Are you saying that Seshala Waterboys are like a soundtrack to the Call of Duty online community?
Yeah, you can say that for sure.
Right.
Call of Duty kids love to edit to Seshala Waterboys songs. Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
And my songs. It's sick. Some people find it annoying. Like there's some fans that'll be like, "Yo, stop using the songs in Call of Duty edits." But I mean, it just gets us more exposure.
You know who PewDiePie is, right? PewDiePie.
Yeah.
The
Some
huge
YouTuber.
YouTuber.
Yeah.
He was listening to a fucking like random like Bone song in one of his videos the other day. He's got like 40 million subscribers. Like it's kind of, I don't know. It's like little by little. Or like weird things like that Denzel Curry sample that they always use in memes.
Yeah.
Like just weird shit like that where you see like the underground like trickling into like internet culture. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so you're like a Call of Duty kid.
Call of Duty kid.
But what kind of kid are you like in high school?
I was
Were you the popular?
Hell no. I was the quiet, shy, like to myself, hated school presentations, like that type of kid that just left school like early, didn't hang out. Like I was always home.
Right.
I didn't go out. I just stayed to myself.
So you didn't like have that many friends or whatever? You just kind of
like a couple, but I wasn't that like popular, talkative like type of guy.
So how'd you start making beats? Like
I was always into music, but I don't know. I just, one summer I was like, why not try to make music myself if I like it so much?
Right.
And then I just made my first beat, put it up, and ever since then.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, all right, let's talk about the transition into rapping. And were you putting out stuff before you put out that first tape?
Yeah. I mean, so from beats, I started like, I always wanted to rap, but I never had the confidence to for some reason, I don't know. But one day I remember I came back from school. I wrote Dark Light in English class.
Right, you were saying this,
yeah. So I came home from school and I had this like USB mic and I just recorded it right there, sent it to like some of my friends. They said it was sick, sent it to my dad, he said it was sick, made the video the next day and just dropped it.
Right.
And then ever since that, that's literally how it happened.
But Dark Light's a weird one because you said that it was almost like your idea when you were putting together the lyrics was just sort of, you were just mixing words together.
Yeah.
Like you weren't really going for any specific topic.
Yeah, the thing about, I think like the reason I named the album Concept Vague is because like I feel like since I was such like a to myself type of kid, I don't really have a particular like story kind of thing.
Right.
So it was just about making music, like a sound for people to hear.
Right.
And like in the past years, I think with my new tape, I had more of a story to tell.
Okay.
So yeah, it was just growth. Like,
well, see, that's really interesting because a lot of times, like high level like music critics or whatever, they talk about like the voice as instrument in the sense that like, you know, even somebody like Lil B, a lot of times when he'd be like rattling on and on over a beat, it's like you'd get the feeling like, oh, this isn't really, I'm not meant to be thinking about exactly what he's saying. This is just meant to like sound good over it. And
exactly. That's my biggest thing. Like I don't like when people try to like when people criticize like lyrics and stuff. Like good music is good music. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just like if you like to hear that, like what's the problem?
Do you feel like it was almost like your music was more accessible because you were just sort of stringing different words together instead of telling an exact story?
It wasn't like like channeling into one type of audience. Like
Right.
it just appealed to so many people.
And
I guess I never thought of that.
A lot of times, like with rap too, it's like sometimes the problem with a rapper can be like, oh, he's not believable.
Yeah.
But when you're sort of being more vague, like that is really interesting with the album
Exactly.
title concept, vague. And
Yeah.
So talk about this progression though with the new tape. Like, do you feel like you're telling stories directly about yourself?
Yeah, I feel like, so ever since I dropped Concept Vague, I feel like since then I've gone through some stuff. I'm not gonna say like I went through like a whole bunch of, but I feel like I have some type, like more of a story. So that's what I implemented into the new album.
Well, what, you're becoming much more well known. All of a sudden, you know,
Yeah.
people want stuff from you and
Yeah.
shit like that. Is that been
That
kind of
and
a
like
struggle?
just growing up in general, like getting older, stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, just general topics.
Yeah, just getting to travel and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that weird for you though? The fact that people treat you different now?
I mean, like, I mean, it's expected, but
Right.
I don't really associate with too many people anyway, so it doesn't really get to me in that way because
Right.
I'm not around like a whole bunch of people to notice who's changing and you know what I mean. So
Are you still like, so you want to be like a big supporter of the local scene? Like, are you still like really involved with a lot of like local acts and stuff? Or
in like Ottawa,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, like I want, like, I feel like with what I'm doing, I want kids to feel like they can do it too because no one's really thinking they can do that. I
Right.
guess till now because I'm starting to do it, but yeah, I just want people to think they can do what I can do.
right.
So
Very interesting. So can we talk about like the actual creative process, like when you go in the booth, or like how you actually put your music together? And also, do you produce a lot of your own stuff still?
I find I produce less now because like it's more like I have less time for one, and like it's more, I don't know, my creative process just changed. Like before it was kind of like I had so much like free time, I just make beats, but now like I have to focus on this and planning this, so it's more of like a writing thing. But I still produce sometimes. Like producing's my first love, like hands down.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it weird rapping over your own beats? Or
Nah.
It's the same
No,
experience.
of course, yeah.
Nice.
Always. It'll always be that.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you still like get a kick out of like producing for other people?
Yeah, of course, all the time. I send Chris Travis beats all the time. Still, like in his DMs, I'm like, bro, use this, and he's like, all right, bet.
Damn, that's crazy. So he's still like one of your favorites?
Yeah, of course, yeah. He always supported me. Like, yeah, that's my bro.
Damn, that's fucking badass.
Yeah.
So, but are you in the booth like all the time, or are you more of like a quality?
I feel
over
like with
quantity?
me, like there'll be times like sometimes there's months where I don't record. Like I'll go 3 months without recording, and then I'll go like 2 months recording a whole album. Like it's never like a consistent, like I have to have some kind of inspiration.
Right.
So I'll take like a break and then like record like 6 songs in like a week or something.
But during that 3 months that you might take off, is that like, are you worried during that time period? Like, oh, maybe I'm not going to come back from this.
Sometimes I like tell myself that, but I don't know. Like I feel like just because of that, I don't want to force myself to, you know what I mean? Just because I'm thinking, I'd rather like let it come. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't want to force myself to make a song. That's when it's like.
But it's weird too
garbage.
when you're a rapper, because it's like you can't put out a new song every day.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly,
people
yeah.
will get sick of you so
Exactly,
fucking fast.
yeah.
It's like you have
100%.
to find your way to go about that. What else do you like have in your life? Do you have like hobbies, or like you're not in? I don't know.
I just like to have fun. Like apart from the music stuff, I just like to have fun. I like to go out, like have fun with my friends, like meet new people. Yeah.
Right. What? So you just like go out a lot? You're not even old enough to go to a bar.
I mean,
are you? Well, not here, but
Not here.
There you are. You're right.
I mean, I go out, like I don't party all the time, but I like to be out and
Right.
yeah, enjoy the days and shit.
Do you just go out and like just like hang out around
Yeah,
the city
of
a
course,
lot?
of course.
Oh, yeah, that's dope. Do you get fucked up? I can't really tell.
I mean, yeah, if I really want to, I will. But I try to like stay away from that because that's what that'll make you like lose yourself really quick. But I can though. I can. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting that you know that like a lot of people do kind of lose their creative energy, I feel like, through drugs and alcohol and stuff.
Yeah.
But wait, so are you not like a everyday weed smoker? Like,
I don't smoke. I mean, I've tried it, but I can't. Like, it just makes me paranoid as fuck, and I just can't do that.
Okay.
I drink. I can drink though.
Yeah.
I drink a lot.
drink a lot?
Yeah.
Really?
On certain occasions.
Right.
Yeah,
What would be
not
like
all the-
an example of an occasion?
Like, I don't know, like typical holidays. It's just like with me, I tend to go too hard on that one day.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Are you like a bad drunk or something?
No, I'm not bad, but I just lose myself completely
Right.
if I go really hard.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, see, I mean, there's certain guys that just like really shouldn't drink because
Yeah.
they're fucking
No,
assholes.
I'm not rude or anything.
Yeah, I'm
but
like a
just,
goofy, like cuddly drunk. Like, like I'm like putting my arm around my friends, like this guy's the fucking best.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot safer.
Yeah.
You know who you put me on to is fucking 50 grand.
50 Grand is the homie.
Yeah.
And the story behind 50 Grand is what I find makes 50 Grand so appealing.
Right. And
Yeah.
so I had no fucking clue about this until I heard you name drop him in a fucking song.
Yeah, yeah.
So born a woman, transition. But did you know him when he was still a woman? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think I met 50 when he was in the transition,
Right.
kind of thing, because he had songs with like Bones and stuff before I
Right.
even, you know what I mean?
And when I was looking at his Twitter, there was a comment where somebody said like, "Oh, I thought you were a girl when I heard you on that Bone song."
Yeah.
And he said, "So did I."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I saw that a few
Yeah.
days ago. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, 50's cool. 50's cool.
Right, but so that's really interesting though that you would kind of like say that you're so inspired by somebody coming out in that way. Like you seem like you're just like a super open-minded
Yeah,
person when it comes
exactly.
to like alternate lifestyles and
Of course,
stuff. You always
of course.
been that way? Was like did your parents raise you like that?
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, like my mom was never the type. Like she always told me to stay open-minded. Like I feel like with 50 in particular, like because of what he went through, like the story is just so much like better. You know what I
Right.
mean? So that like in a sense makes the music better. So it's like you can't like limit yourself to judging people and stuff. You can't do that.
Totally. Like you have gay friends that like you fucking have seen be kind of discriminated against, or
Yeah, but I don't discriminate.
No,
but
yeah.
I have. Yeah, of course, I have gay friends. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy
To each
because
his own.
I feel like the whole trans conversation is like like it hasn't really happened in hip hop so
Yeah,
much, you
yeah.
know? Like it's just hasn't really.
I feel like people are scared to talk about that.
Yeah, and we're
So-
just now getting to the point where there's sort of like openly like lesbian female rappers,
Yeah.
which is like that's almost brand new
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah,
Young
exactly.
M.A. Shout out to her.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
But it's just like weird and pathetic that it's even considered that out of the ordinary, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. What about this one skit where the girl's talking about DMT? And I realize I'm going like super out of order here, but I was just like very confused about that, and I was wondering, had you ever done DMT before?
No, to be honest, I'm confused about that too. But that was one of my old friends that was talking some like dumb shit, and I figured record it and put it in like an interlude as a funny like. Everyone's asking me about that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
she was just talking shit.
You haven't done DMT yet?
No.
See, I watched like this documentary about it. It seems really interesting, but I never did it. Yeah.
All those types of shit just scare me. Like, nah, I'll
No.
stick to alcohol.
So not acid and mushrooms. Those
No.
aren't in your future. You're not like,
Hell
trying to give
no.
that a shot.
Fuck no. Hell no. That's not me at all.
It is scary stuff. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. You gotta be careful.
Nah. Hell no.
So also when earlier I was reading like your lyrics on fucking Rap Genius. Is it weird for you? Do you read your own lyrics that like people come up with? Because I think they get them wrong a bunch of times.
Yeah, I mean, I do. It's funny sometimes what they come up with, but and then like I'll check like a month later, and then it's like corrected. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah. I
Interesting.
feel like most of the songs are corrected. Some of them are still wrong to this day.
Yeah, but sometimes they're wrong, and then other times they have meanings that I'm like, I don't know if I really believe.
I read
this
some of the
meaning.
meanings
Yeah.
too, and I'm like, I wasn't even thinking that, but okay. Yeah.
But that's kind of like a whole thing being like a rapper is that I feel like you have all these other people like overthinking your stuff that in a lot of ways sort of like comes off the top of your head or
Yeah.
like you don't put that much thought into it. It's just how you're feeling.
In a sense,
at that
that's
time.
a good thing because it helps your fans like interpret your music in a different way. Like,
Right.
Each person interprets it like differently. So
I think, I'm like really fascinated by the concept of you sort of like embracing like being vague because I think that does make like people can kind of take what they want
Exactly.
from your music
Yeah,
in a weird
exactly.
way. But so are you a writer or do you ever freestyle?
I can freestyle, but like I feel like it doesn't like there's no I rather tell like a set type of story. Like freestyling is just like rapping. Like I don't want to just rap. Like I want
Right.
to write a story type of thing. So yeah, I've never freestyled on a track or anything. That's just not
Really? See, a lot of people do though, you know, and it's like there were times where I was kind of wondering, like, this sort of feels like a little bit like it's like by the seat of his pants, like, you know, but
Yeah.
I was wondering, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like whoever like freestyling's cool and all, but I rather like make kind of like a movie in sound type of shit. Like you know what I mean? I don't want to
Right.
just like tell like a random like off the top of my head thought. That doesn't make sense to me.
What do you think is like the progression between like your first tape and your second tape? Like what has changed about you besides from just the fact that your lyrics are like more specific and you're talking about things more?
I think that's the main like for the most part everything's the same. I feel like I'm just more like grown up now, mature. I have more to talk about. I'm more specific on my topics. Other than
Right.
that, it's basically the same like.
Was the
Same thing.
Was your
Same
initial
base.
boost like SoundCloud based? Do you feel like
Yeah.
where it just because SoundCloud just does such a good job of like getting people to listen to new stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
100%.
it just started to just pour, like just the support just went crazy.
100%.
What was like your perspective on that? Because you're just some kid essentially at this point, and you're just watching it blow up. Like
Like what was my perception on SoundCloud, like
yeah, just watching like, or even with YouTube too, like just seeing your music just hit with such a huge crowd, like it must have been the fucking most unreal experience.
I was oblivious to all of that. Like I didn't even take in like what the impact I had on people. Like I just put it out and kind of just kept making music and ignored all the like statistic shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you had a beat drama with Soulja Boy. Can we talk about this?
Okay, so when I was KLMV, so I made a remix
Right.
to a Weeknd song.
Okay.
I put it on YouTube.
Are you a Weeknd fan?
Yeah. I mean, I don't listen to him all the time, but
Right.
yeah, of course, yeah.
To an extent.
I made this Weeknd remix to Live For, I think, an old song he made. So I made the Weeknd remix. Put it on YouTube. I came home one day, and my mentions on Twitter were like blowing up. They're like, bro, check out this link. Like, your song's on Eye Candy. So I'm like, wait, what the fuck is Eye Candy? So do you know what Eye Candy is? Like on World Star? Like,
yeah.
It's like this video of a whole bunch of girls shaking their ass and shit, right?
Videos.
Exactly.
I don't really click those, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, well, I clicked it, and I watched the whole video, of course.
Right.
And then, so an hour after that, people were telling me that Soulja Boy used my beat. So I'm like in my head, like he obviously found the beat from the Eye Candy video. Like,
Right.
So he followed me on Twitter, used the beat, like didn't even credit me at the time. Followed me on Twitter, posted it. So I thought he was gonna like at least give me some type of like recognition.
You're
like,
about to get the SODMG
you know what I mean? Yeah,
tattoo.
Exactly, like something like that. Something like that. So he followed me everything. Like it was people were talking about it, and then he just unfollowed me. Like I'm pretty sure he might have deleted the song, but he just like unfollowed me and like forgot about the like. It's not that serious now, but at the time I'm like, bro, like you could have at least like hit me up and told me something.
Right. Well,
or, like,
was this like your first interaction with anybody like famous?
So
at
it was
all?
like serious to me. Like this couldn't be messed up. Like you know what I mean?
Right.
So. But yeah, that's that story.
Man,
that's that story.
Soulja Boy savage as fuck right there, just messing with this little producer kid's head.
He just took my shit. Bro.
Could he patch it up with you now if he hit you up? Would you be like,
I wouldn't care. Good, yeah. I wouldn't care now. Yeah,
no.
I wouldn't care.
Not the
that
type
was
to
like
hold a grudge.
Exactly. That was like 3 years ago. Like,
right.
Yeah, I wouldn't care now.
So you seem like such like a friendly, nice guy in person or on camera or whatever. But like, so can you talk about the fact that you sort of let this whole other side of you out musically?
I feel like with music, it's kind of like letting out what I don't talk about in person. Like there's a whole side of me that I just want people to hear through music. Like I don't like to talk about it in person.
Right.
Everyone asks that, but yeah, that's the whole thing with that. Right. It's a different side for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So what else we got here? Like I don't know. I one thing I really liked about you in this one interview, you were talking about how you wear the fucking pink nail polish. Do you have that on right now?
Nah, I don't have pink nail polish on right now, but yeah, I have before, of course.
But so what's like the mind state between doing something like that? You just like kind of enjoy pissing people off?
Yeah, yeah. I just do whatever the fuck I want. I don't care who gets mad at me wearing pink nail polish, bro. Like you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It looks cool. Like
yeah.
And I feel like my fans fuck with that shit too because they like to do whatever the fuck they want. So it's like it's appealing to them.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of open.
It's kind of like the old heads that don't fuck with that because they don't like seeing that type of shit. Like rappers aren't supposed to be wearing nail polish and shit like that.
Right. Do you feel like kind of like? Do you ever get that kind of vibe from like older rap heads in the Canadian scene?
Of course,
really,
and being like the Canadian scene makes it worse because the older heads, on top of being older heads, aren't exposed to as much like Americans are music wise. Like you know what I mean?
Right. Like they have no idea what music you listen
exactly.
to.
So it's just tougher in general. But I mean, I don't even pay attention. I can't say it's tougher because I don't pay attention to that shit.
Right.
But yeah, I don't even. That's bullshit.
I mean, you probably got like a lot of like real nerdy ass dudes out there who just cannot like. They don't understand like the context that like your music exists in.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
fucking well, hey, fuck old people. Old people say.
For real.
But how do you feel when you see like some shit come out with like Yachty and he's saying like I never heard Tupac. I couldn't name 5 Biggie songs. Like, do you feel
like who cares? Like you know what I mean? Like Yachty, like he makes good music. Like he makes good music. He's making money. He has fans. Like, I don't understand why it should be a thing of what kind of music you grew up listening to and who you know and what like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that has nothing to do with making good music. Like,
right.
You know,
and I mean, like, Tupac died, like, when Yachty was born.
Yeah.
That was just, like, 20 years ago.
So it's not something he should just know everything about.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Like, it would be cool if he knew about it. Like,
Yeah,
if he just so happened to know about it, that's cool. You know, it's on
like
the radio,
mandatory.
whatever.
That's not like, you don't sign up for music and have to check off, like, I know this about this. this. And
exactly, like expecting kids to just like memorize 20 years worth of rap history.
Exactly.
Not to mention that like all these dudes who are standing so hard for Tupac and shit. It's like it's not like they know every rap song from the 80s.
Facts.
You know, like
Exactly.
Like I grew up on Tupac and shit. Don't get me wrong. It's just kind of crazy to see like this. I feel like there's almost like a war in fucking rap now between like the old guys and the young kids.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like coming out more.
Yeah, I don't know. These old like it's cool to see when some of the old guys actually understand like what the younger kids are trying to do, and that it has nothing to do with like who you know and what you talk about and shit like that.
Yeah,
that's when I feel like once that becomes more like a popular thing, once all the old heads start realizing that it has nothing to do with that, then we actually like there's no more of that confliction and shit. Yeah. And maybe we'll start progressing.
Well, but it's good too because I feel like young dudes like you, it's like you obviously just don't give a fuck about what some like lyrical miracle fucking type guy gives a shit. Yeah.
I don't give a fuck, bro.
But so how much do you interact with your fans? Like, are you the kind of guy who's like always like on Twitter responding to people?
I feel like I interact more now. Before I was kind of like I kind of had that whole like mysterious type of thing. Like I didn't talk a lot, I didn't tweet a lot.
Right.
But I feel like now it's just fun. Like they're the reason you got here in the first place. Why not kind of interact with them? Like
right.
Yeah.
So that's interesting though. Did you feel like you sort of had to keep up this like image of you being like super super dark and mysterious at a certain point?
I feel like to me like that whole mysterious dark thing comes in the shows type of thing. But when it comes to social media, like that doesn't really like I interact with my fans. But when it comes to shows, I try to keep that whole like mysterious aesthetic to my shit.
Yeah, like you listen to Insane Clown Posse?
No.
No, you probably shouldn't. No. But like a lot of this, well, I was going to say that like I've seen pictures of them without their face paint on, and it's just like, holy fuck. It's so crazy to think that they're just regular guys.
Everyone has their own shit they do. Everyone.
But a lot of like metal bands and shit too, though. Like they have like white fucking face paint on. They got the fake blood dripping off them. But then like when you hear them like talking in between songs, in between screaming their fucking guts out, they're just like, oh, hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, it's like you're like being an artist is like putting on like you're acting a part. You feel me? Like you gotta act a part when you're on stage, and that's your job, like to put on a show.
Do you love playing live?
Yeah, of course.
Like, how do you get yourself in that mentality? Like, do you have to get angry before you go out and play? Do you get into a mind state?
Nah, it's just about feeling the fans' energy and then them like knowing that they support you and like what you're putting your heart in. Like that alone, that's what makes a show great.
Right.
Yeah.
And just having that experience again to connect with them and stuff. Have you been on tour a lot besides like going to Russia? Or?
No, I went on a European tour last year. There was some like I went to France, London, the Russian dates, Germany.
How'd you like that? Was that your first time going over there?
Yeah, my first time going on tour, and it was in Europe. It was a learning experience. Like some of the places were weird, some of the places were racist as fuck.
Really?
Yeah.
You had to deal with that.
Poland was racist as fuck.
Poland is a fucked up
Germany
place.
is just weird as fuck, dark, and like we went to Leipzig, Germany.
Really?
I never
Wait, tell me about Polish racism. That sounds fucking scary.
I mean, like
it's a bunch of like Nazis and shit.
It's not no like straight up like coming up to me and saying racist shit. It's kind of like the vibe.
Yeah. Like
when you land in the airport, everyone's just looking at you like you're some kind of like alien or some shit.
Right.
But yeah, I thought Russia would be like that, but it's really not. It's just Poland.
Really?
Poland is just fucked.
When I went to Russia, I felt like the vibe towards the one black guy that we were with was like, it wasn't like racism. It was just they were like in awe. Like they'd never seen a black dude before. They didn't know what the fuck to think.
Exactly.
You know, and that is like a weird thing because it's not them being racist.
Yeah.
It's just them not knowing fucking anything.
Yeah, exactly,
you know?
exactly, yeah.
But so, all right, so which was your favorite countries out of the whole European thing?
Russia, 100%.
Really?
Russia.
Is it because of this girl that you kept tagging?
No.
Like, what the fuck? You snapped right there.
It was definitely, I mean, like, that was low-key a part of it.
Did you fall in love out there? Explain this to me.
I did not fall in love out there, bro.
You fucked up, you should have fallen in love.
I went there to put on a good show for the fans, and that was my main focus, and then we left Russia.
Okay. And it was what? How long were you there?
We were there for 2 days. The first show was in St. Petersburg.
Okay.
The next day we went to Moscow.
Yeah.
Moscow was lit.
Which one did you like more?
Moscow, 100%.
Really? Well, because it's more like a party,
more
like
people,
atmosphere.
more, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Bigger venue, like
Yeah.
It's just a better show overall.
That's dope. You didn't try the crocodile?
What's crocodile?
It's like crystal meth out there, but it's like supercharged. Like it'll like kill you. Like it's like this whole like epidemic out there.
I still just stuck to the alcohol side of things.
Yo, but they go hard with the fucking alcohol, right?
Oh yeah, they drink vodka like water, bro. Like,
oh my god, the
it's
kids
fucked.
will be trying to make you take shots all the time.
And
They're
the vodka's extra cheap. You could buy it at corner stores, like it's extra cheap. Like
Yeah, like, and actually, if you go to the club, buying beers is more expensive than buying a bottle. Like, you could buy a bottle and just chug it with your friends, and that's actually the cheaper version, which is weird in America. But
Yeah.
buying bottles is the flex.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you sure you didn't fall in love in
No,
Russia, though?
I'm positive. I'm positive, bro. I did not fall in love. I did not fall in love in
That's
Russia.
good. Do you have a relationship that you're in? When
No.
you talk about like fucking other people's bitches a lot and stuff.
I don't. I'm currently not in a relationship.
Yeah.
Nah.
But have you been in the past?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
What?
I mean, I had to get out of that shit because
You're
it's
famous
just
now.
It's just it's too much. It's too much on your head. Like I don't enjoy that.
Right.
Right now, at least. Like
Yeah.
I have other stuff to worry about.
You're like a free spirit in that
Yeah.
sense,
When I'm
yeah.
older and I can settle down, then. But now it's just I can't.
Do you consider yourself like a player in any way?
Nah, I'm not a jerk. I'm not a jerk.
Sensitive guy.
Nah, I'm not a jerk, but I just had to remove myself from the situation
Right.
in the most polite way possible. I'm not
Right.
a jerk or anything. Nah.
No, you're not a jerk.
Nah.
No, of course not. So you don't think you'll ever leave Canada? This is interesting to me. Could you ever see yourself, like, say you're hugely successful, could you imagine yourself, like, having a place in LA,
Yeah,
having a
of
place
course.
somewhere else?
I can
too?
have a place, but I feel like I always want to. I mean, like, I might like if I were to buy a place in LA and live there for a certain amount of time. Like, it's not that I might leave Canada, but I'll always like refer to my like hometown as Ottawa. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, spiritually, I'm always in Ottawa. I'll
Right.
never claim I'm from anywhere else because that shit's just corny.
Oh, yeah, you can't do that.
You
It's
can't.
terrible.
It's fucked.
So this is like a terribly cliche question, but like, are you trying to be the Drake for your city? Because obviously the Sixth God has, promoted, like, whether you like him or not, however much you like him, he's taken Toronto under his wing and made it.
I mean, I can't say I'm trying to be the Drake because he's just on another like level up there.
That is very
Exactly.
Yeah,
But I mean, I'm trying to put Ottawa on. Like I can say that. I'm trying to put Ottawa on for sure.
and just sort of like
Internationally,
let
like yeah.
Hell yeah.
100%.
Well, that's it. You a Drake fan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, of course, yeah.
But you know what I was thinking about earlier? It's like the people that he's put on are never rappers. They're always like singers. Don't you feel like Party Next Door, The Weeknd?
Yeah,
They're not
yeah.
really like challenge. But and then Tory Lanez comes out and Drake and him hate each other.
I feel like he puts on a lot of Canadians and most like there's not too many Canadian rappers type
Yeah,
shit. So
that's the
yeah,
problem.
Exactly.
I could totally, but Drake does this to people. Like, are you going to be ready for it when he hits you up and he's like, "Yo, I'm getting on your song." When he gives you the McConan Tuesday effect. Are you ready?
He could do whatever the fuck he wants with my song. Yeah, that would be sick.
How are you going to react when you get that call?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. That would be crazy though.
And what if his verse is whack? And you're scared to say, fucking, yo, your verse is whack. You can't tell Drizzy his verse is whack.
I wouldn't tell him. I let him do whatever he wants with it, bro.
Really? Can people get verses off you? You ever sell verses?
I
Or
never
are you
sell
too
a verse.
You're too rare for that?
No, it's not that I'm too rare for that. I just feel like I don't want to make music for. I don't want to sell a verse. Like, I'd rather it be kind of organic type of shit.
Well,
it could be
you seem
anyone.
like a real artist. Like, you actually care about the art of
Yeah, of
fucking
course.
music,
Of course,
right?
yeah. I'd rather it just be organic and kind of talking, like meeting, I don't know, knowing the person at least, like, and then going from there.
Do you have like a sort of specific like video style? How did you sort of come up with that? Like your videos are very distinct.
Yeah, I mean, like the Dark Light video, I feel like with the Dark Light video and the Contraband video, it was like a big jump, so it kind of hit people like a wall.
Right.
The Dark Light video was shot with like an iPhone camera, simply because like that's all we had at the time.
Right.
And then like the Contraband video, I've always wanted to make videos like that, but I just never really kind of like had the type of song to do that to. So yeah, I only have 2 videos out there completely different, but the fans still fuck with it, so
Right.
yeah.
Did anybody ever like sort of like, well, I know that your dad was this huge influence on you, but so did he, like, would you say he taught you how to put a song together in a way? Because when I hear your music, it feels like you actually like know how to do a chorus. You actually,
I don't know, he's one of my, he just let me do whatever I want. Like he always just told me my shit was dope. That shit kept me going. Like he just let me do whatever I want.
right.
Yeah, I'd listen to his songs and I kind of took like what he did with his songs, but he never specifically told me like do this or do that. Like he just told me it was dope. I just kept putting it out.
And so what was the kind of music that he was making, and what was the kind of music he was playing around you as a kid?
Well, when like my mom and dad split up like kind of early, so he lives in Toronto now.
All right.
And I was living with my mom, so I feel like inspiration-wise, soca music. Do you know soca music?
No.
My mom's from St. Lucia,
Okay.
so they listen to soca out there. It's like really upbeat and like hard type shit.
Right.
So I don't think I didn't take inspiration directly from the sound, but like the whole mentality like with soca music is that they make music and they don't really have much to make music with. You know what I
Right,
mean? So
yeah.
that whole mentality with like starting from like nothing type shit.
Right.
Kind of, yeah.
So what does your dad think now when he sees your music, since it's obviously completely out of the lens of the stuff that you sort of grew up on?
He always tells me I'm just him in a better way.
Yeah. How so?
I don't know. He just tells me I'm like him. Like my dad's like young at heart. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Okay.
as much like he's like 40 something now. But
He's single?
Yes,
So
right now.
he's
Yeah.
probably young at heart. That's how you stay young at heart.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, he always just like, he's really in tune to like the whole, like what I'm trying to do and stuff, and the whole change in generations and stuff like that. So yeah, he's a big supporter. Like he's my biggest supporter.
Right.
Biggest supporter.
What about your mom?
My mom's a big supporter too, but I feel like because she supports me obviously, but my dad's more kind of like a specific supporter because he used to make music himself too.
He kinda gets
my
what you're
mom,
going
like she'll
through more?
just say like, yeah, that's cool, you know what I mean? But yeah, my
Right.
dad's more like a into it type supporter.
Did you ever see this video that's on YouTube of like mom reacts to Night Lovell?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Yo, she didn't have much to say. She was really freaked out by you saying the N-word a lot. That was like pretty much all she talked about.
She's freaked out by everyone saying the
Yeah,
N-word a
'cause
lot,
I'm like,
so
that-
I didn't even take it personal.
I'm like, that doesn't even stand out at all. That's like most.
I don't
most
even
rap
say
songs.
it that much.
Yeah, not
to
more
the
than the
point,
average
you know what I
dude,
mean?
yeah.
But yeah, I saw that. It was funny. I was laughing. I
That
was
kid
laughing.
does a lot of fucking views on YouTube by doing
Yeah.
those exact videos. It's pretty smart. To
He's
be honest.
popular now.
I feel
still
kinda
watch
bad
his
for
videos.
his mom. Yeah. I want to know what his mom thinks of like when I see like 21 Savage. I'm like, all right, I
Yeah.
want to know what
Yeah,
she thinks of him. Yeah.
He's a funny
Shout out to that kid. I gave him a shout out one time, and then he left a comment like, "Are you talking shit about me?"
Oh
and
my God.
He didn't get it.
What's
but
his name? Cuff Boys or something on?
Yeah, that's the
I still watch his
YouTube.
videos. They're funny.
Shout out to those guys.
Facts.
Yeah. Man, I should just rip it off. I just make my mom watch some fucking 21 Savage or something. That's not the worst idea. Sorry to that kid in advance.
That's what makes it funny because moms aren't gonna like this type of, like, you know what I mean?
Have you ever had like an old person like fan out on you super hard though?
There was a mom front row at the LA show yesterday.
Really?
I swear.
That was like really into it?
I swear. She was front row.
And she knew the words and shit?
I don't know, but like I wasn't really I didn't notice until after when I saw the video, but she was front row with her son.
Wow.
Front row.
Or do you think that maybe she was like protecting him?
No,
Because,
bro. No. Because she wanted like a picture after.
Right.
She was front row, like near the mosh and everything.
Right. But see, this is the thing: is that girls out here get pregnant so fucking young that there'll be like a 30-year-old mom at the show and like a 15-year-old daughter there too, and it's like it doesn't seem that weird, you know?
She did. I don't know. She looked like she looked 30. Maybe that's the case.
Yeah.
But the fact that she's a mom though, like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Now, there's a lot of moms out there.
Yeah.
Just low-key moms.
Yeah.
They keep it off Twitter because they don't want people to know. Something like that.
Facts.
You could be a dad and we wouldn't know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a dad.
We got dad hat.
I'm definitely not a dad. Hell no.
No, not yet.
Nah.
You were thinking about it?
Yeah, of course. It'd be
Right.
cool to have a kid, but not now.
Not
like,
anytime soon, please,
There's
yeah.
just too much. That's just such a big responsibility.
So are all these people here? Is this your team? Who do you keep around you when you're on?
I'm always with this guy. This is my best friend. That's my blood brother.
Oh, the fucking
Manager, my boy right there, DJ right there, photographer right there.
Uh-huh.
These are all my homies.
Yeah.
This is Ottawa. Like, this is like a representation of Ottawa. Even though Jonathan's from Toronto,
Right.
I still feel like he's part of the whole Ottawa movement. Because,
For sure. Well, that's dope.
Yeah.
Hey, so where do you plan on like your career going for here? Do you have like bigger touring plans? Do you have new music in the works?
Yeah, I have new music. I feel like, I don't know, I'm just going with wherever like it takes me type of.
Right.
I don't want to set a set, like a goal, like,
Right.
because I feel like either if it doesn't happen, I'll be disappointed and then take that the wrong way, or if it does happen, then I don't know. I'd rather just like see where it takes me.
Right.
It's like a whole like adventure type shit.
Do you have labels bugging you and shit though?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, I used to be like against that whole thing.
About
Like
being signed or
labels,
anything?
yeah. But I mean, like, if it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. If it's
Right.
not, it won't happen. Like,
But when they talk to you, do you sort of get the vibe that like they wouldn't give you the creative control that you'd need?
that and like the whole money talk just makes me cringe because I don't like to see numbers and all that. But
Really?
yeah, it's just
Are you monetizing out here though? Like, how's how are you making money?
somewhat.
You're not going super
Off
hard
shows,
with it though?
shows
Right.
like iTunes.
But you could
Spotify.
tour a lot more if you
Yeah,
wanted to,
yeah,
right?
yeah, of course, with more like planning and more like promo time. Yeah,
Right.
of course.
But I could totally see it from a label's perspective that they might be looking at you like, oh yeah, like we could definitely like turn this kid into
Yeah,
a fucking
that's their job.
marketable-
Yeah, of course. And I'm not bad. Like if it's supposed to happen, it'll happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm just gonna let shit happen. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah, nice. Who do you want to shout out? Is there anybody that has been crucial in your career that you need to show love to?
I don't know, like no one in particular. Shout out Chris Travis, obviously, for supporting me since day one. Shout out the whole Sesh Hollow Water Boys. Like I feel like they've supported me. Like Bones supported me from like day one. Like I don't know, everyone. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to my fans. Shout out to my parents for letting me be me and not doing that whole like you need to go to school type shit.
Right.
Shout out my main friend. Shout out everyone.
You know, that's one thing I like about you is that you're one of the only dudes that I've interviewed who I looked back into your Instagram and just saw the photo of the day that you graduated.
Yeah.
And that was when you weren't like super popular yet, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool that I could look back like not that far and find like these like pivotal moments in your life.
Yeah.
That shit was sick.
Because I started like when I was in my last year of high school, so everything between that point is still there.
But so you never thought about going to college or anything?
I did, but
did?
like, I mean, I feel like when I started making a little bit of money, it kind of slipped my mind.
Right.
And I still have the thought like, if I were to go back, what I'd go for.
Right.
But my mom's still like, I'm lucky I have the type of like mom to just tell me like, you really don't have to go to school type. I feel like a lot of moms, like they try to force their kids to go to school, and then if you could make more money doing this type shit than going to school. Like it's whatever you love to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you had gone to college, what do you think you would have studied?
I don't know. Like it would probably be some type of like design shit.
Right.
Or some video game development because I was always into that. Something like.
Who's your favorite video game YouTubers?
They're like, there's this guy. I think they don't make YouTube videos anymore. But there was this guy. His name was A Moody Swede. Do you know him?
No.
He used to make YouTube videos and like Call of Duty vlogs where he just like talk a whole bunch of shit while he's playing.
Right.
There was him. I used to watch like FaZe.
Right.
You know FaZe?
Yeah.
Like trick shots.
I used to
Scarce? Yeah, of course. Yeah. 100%.
For some reason, the fact that you know who Scarce is funny.
100%.
The kids are gonna love that too because they love when like the rap and the YouTube worlds collide.
Yeah, 100%. There was FaZe Temper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would watch FaZe Temper's vlogs all the time. So.
Right. Damn, that's so tight.
Yeah.
The Scarce shout out is so good. Fucking fat fuck in the flannel. No, I love him though. But every time I wear a flannel, people are like, "Yo, Adam's trying to be Scarce. He's trying to be Scarce." I'm like, "Fuck you guys." Like 80% of the people watching this have no idea who we're talking about.
I know.
All right, but yeah, I'm fucking hyped that we finally got this interview done.
For real,
I'm
bro.
a big fan. Shout out to Brandon Began for playing your shit in his room for like a couple years and making me become a fan without even trying.
Yeah.
Definitely like at least like 3 or 4 instances where I was like, "Who is that? Who is that again?"
Hell yeah.
But yeah, man, like good luck with the rest of your trip.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to see what you got coming, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you
so much.
That.
Appreciate it, bro. No Jumper. Check us out. YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. Check out Night Lovell on SoundCloud.
Gang in this bitch.
YouTube, Twitter, everything. You know what all the social media websites are. Thanks, man.
Gang in this bitch.
Peace.
That was awesome.
Guys, I really got to tell you, I'm very excited right now. Very excited. There's a lot going on in the world. There's this huge presidential election. There's ISIS. There's a war going on in the Middle East, I'm told. But we're not here for all that. We're here for Nicki Minaj shaking her ass. Look at this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.